Good evening, everyone. Welcome to game week 6, 5-ish, if you count the the, the delayed games. And apologies for the slight holiday, but needs must. And yeah, looking forward to a night of entertaining Super League action. As promised, Co-Coms is back. We had Steve last week, obviously, or the week before. Much appreciated, Steve. And this evening we have the ever reliable, pragmatic, and entertaining Mr. Ian Campbell. Good evening, sir.
How you doing, Martin? Lovely introduction there. Thank you.
Good to have you here. Evening, Scott. Evening, Ross. Ross asks if he can go early. You certainly can, I guess. I can't remember exactly who you're playing, but I'm sure we'll figure that out. We'll see who joins this evening in terms of audience. I know it's a bit of an odd night, and I know that it's maybe not fitting into everyone's schedule. So a couple of people I know, Alf, won't be able to join. I guess Oldham are playing or something, and I think Mr. Edwards is struggling with his internet connection as well. So we'll see, but we'll see what friendly faces turn in. Oh, Mr. Edwards has found internet. Good to see. So he is here. That's excellent. Anyways, while people are joining, we can have a little chat about the start of the season. Obviously, your own start to the season has gone very well. But what do you make of first of all of East Coast and their sort of I mean, they've looked quite dominant to be fair so far this season, 5 from 5, reigning champions, and then. Yeah, of course, there's a lot of teams to follow, but do you see East Coast continuing? You consider Dimble a favorite for this season?
I think you've got to be honest. I know there's tonight's going to be an interesting game when they play Excels. I'm looking forward to that one, but I think you get settled into a team formation, and I think that's I've found that's the best way to go. Just stick to a formation and just sort of roll with it. But no,
Yeah,
I think they're the team to catch at this stage. Anyway, great start
yeah.
for East Coast.
And it's worked out well for yourself. You've not made that many changes since the start of the season, and of course you're on 4 wins from 5. I guess same goal difference in the East Coast as well. I guess you couldn't really have asked for much more if this was offered to you before we actually kicked off.
No, it's pretty much perfect. I've had a couple of injuries, Side and Casas, who are normally starters. They're back tonight on the bench, but I think I couldn't really ask for much more. But we've had not the toughest run of games, but you have to be in about the mix. So I'm happy with about it at the minute. I'm delighted.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously Tetratse, the story of the season so far. I don't know, don't know how he managed to squeeze into the starting 11, but he's difficult to drop now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's 46-year-old fucking Tradze. I think it was Rocks brought him in as like defensive cover A, but beside being injured, chucked him in, and he's done the business, hasn't he?
He's done well. He has done well. Evening, Steve. Evening, Alex. Evening, Steve. Good to have you. Good to have you all here. Alex, we're doing very well. Thank you very much. Hope you are too. Steve, were you late? I didn't. I can't say that I noticed. We were just chatting, so all good. All good. Just happy that you can join. We were just talking, for those who missed it, we were just talking about the start to the season that East Coast have had and Haggis' own start to the season. We'll get back to some of the teams and how they've done and any advice that you might have for some of the struggling managers, if there are any. We'll get to that as we go through the evening. We have a quick look at that quick reminder of the results. Appreciate it's probably about 10 days ago since we had the last round of fixtures. Yourselves obviously beaten Stanley 3-1 away. Vikings with a 1-1 draw against Sancte there. Foss Road winning on the road. East Coast winning on the road in Northern Burn in their what seems to be their 10th game in the last whatever 12 or something like that. Exiles with a strong result against Fulchester, who's still struggling with goalkeepers, I guess. Dudley beating Los Santos in the featured game in that evening, and Badgers losing surprisingly, so perhaps to Sloths who have dropped an arrow and are really going for it. But those were the results last time out. Um, we will have a look at the fixtures now before we crack on. Ross asks to go early, and as both the new and Alex are here, we can put you on first, Ross. That's no problem. Um, what do you make of the fixtures this evening? There's obviously one that really stands out, East Coast Exiles. Is there anything else that kind of tickles your fancy of those 7 games?
There's quite a few tasty ones actually. Our game's quite a biggie, but East Coast obviously they stand out. Forest Road Badgers is another good game. There's load. Northern Burn start's been a wee bit patchy to say the least. I think Ian will be too pleased, so I think he could be looking for a win tonight. But Scotty doing reasonably well with Los Santos as well. And it's still so tight, but I think the guys at the bottom will be hoping to maybe just start picking up points now. They won't be sitting on the zero for too much longer.
Yeah, it's a big one. We'll start off with Sanctay and Stackington. Obviously, very big game for both managers early on this season on 13th and 12th respectively, and probably desperate to not get dropped off the playoff race too early on because it's a long season if you're sitting on I think like 10, 11 points after 13 games. It's not going
Mm,
anywhere. It's a
definitely.
tough one, but of course, I mean that's part of being in the Super League. That's why that's why it's such a tough gig because it's not just about doing well. It's also about the having the longevity and the staying power when you're not because things might turn around. It might be next season, and it might be literally next season because we obviously don't run it so quickly. So whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know. I personally quite like it. And I think you were an advocate for one game a week as well, if as I recall.
It does. It just kind of keeps it interesting. I mean, if you're doing well, you're champing at the bit. But I think one game a week it just keeps you sort of wanting it more. I think, but I'm just happy to roll with it. But I'm happy with
Hmm.
one game a week.
It's each to their own, each to their own. I know that some people would prefer more, and ideally, I mean, I could do this every night if I had nothing else on. So, but that's how it is. Evening, Mr. Savage. Ian Edwards says he's getting fed up of Coast, can't get anywhere near them, but you've got a good sort of 10, 12 games, so we play them again. So at least you'll you'll have that to look forward to, I guess. We will crack on. We will get the first game on, and it's going to be Stackington against Sancte. Sabs is here. Could I go an early slot as well? Yes, indeed you can, Scott. I will try and get you on afterwards. If anyone else are desperate for early or late slots, then please give me a shout in the comments. If anyone is playing Alf, I think, oh, it's Ian Byrne playing Alf, and Alf is out, so this can also be done whenever. So we've got a couple of good ones lined up, good options lined up. Meanwhile, let's speak Stackington for a short minute. Difficult start to the season. He didn't play in Sagi, got a bit of stick for that. He's gone with a more sort of. Um, thanks, Mike. Sure, you can. He's gone for a bit more of a sort of a standardish formation, but with a big back five there, but without the long arrow that Exiles has. Um, what do you make of Stackington? He goes with Galka instead of Dacour, I think, this week. This kind of lineup, is there enough firepower in there? Is there enough attacking options for them?
I think attacking wise, he's not too bad. Moretti and Inzaghi there. If he's going to persist with one up top, I think that's reasonable. Joe Cole, looking at that, it's reasonable, but it's for me, his back two are not strong enough for Super League. Viali's okay, but again, I think the two of them are probably more backup
Mm,
defenders at this level anyway. But I mean, for last season, I had a look at his team and it was shocking. So he's done well to cash
mm,
in on Buffon and get Casillas and Zaghi and like Morientes. And I see he was looking to move on to Corfe. I don't know if that's such a wise move, but Finnan and Uyar are reasonable wing back. But it's one of the weaker teams. But Alex, he done well. He done well when he came in, and I think he's punching above his weight with that team, in my opinion.
he's definitely improved on, I think, I mean, he also struggled because he had like literally, he was at the squad limit. I think he had 50 players, so he had to like release it and flip some genuine garbage and all of this. It's never that easy when you come in and it's not your own squad. You want to do something different. But as you say, well done to him for actually getting Inzaghi in there. That's a that's a big one. Um, Paul says, "Fuck's sake, we're going to be on last." If you're playing the Haggis, then indeed you are. Apologies for that. So I was going to say we'll try and make it quick. We probably won't, but we'll see. Meanwhile, Gustavo Lopez is a set piece taker. Excellent. Sanctity, a bit of a lineup change. They've gone with this kind of formation, which is kind of similar to what I think Greavesy played a while back, maybe with one more AMC or something in there. I don't really remember, but there was something along those lines. it's a strong squad, I think. Should he be getting more out of it? I think, as Steve mentioned, that Juliano should be playing, and he is playing now. Um, would you expect this squad to be a little bit higher up the table, perhaps? They got Van Nistelrooy in as well. They got from you, I believe.
Oh, definitely. Look, individual players, they're it's extremely strong. I think he's maybe I don't know if he's played the same formation twice. I can't remember. This is certainly looks like a new one to me.
Mm,
But certainly personnel wise, he's got a top side in my opinion. So two good centre halves. Davis is an animal. Good midfield. I'm be interested to see how this goes actually because it should certainly be higher up the table than what he is. I think is he rock bottom or near enough rock bottom? No, standing rock bottom. He's near the
12
bottom. He
and
should be.
13.
Yeah,
12 and 13 they are so far, Sancti and Stackington. So yeah.
uh, there's certainly potential there to get up the table because it's a strong side.
Well, we'll see. We will see. Sancti are at home, so how do you predict this one going? Home win maybe, or Inzaghi? I think he's already the top scorer in the league. Maybe getting a goal here.
I'm going to say Desmond.
A Desmond for this one. Let's see if there will be two goals in it for both sides. Obviously, Oliver Kahn getting on a little bit, had a bad game, got subbed off for Kirkland, then came back in again. It's been busy start here. Yellow card for Marvin Andrews already, and one for I think it was Van Nistelrooy or someone else. Oh no, that was Van Nistelrooy getting a yellow. So it's been and there's Boyer getting a yellow. There's four yellows in the first 20 minutes, or five even.
Going to be a
Juliano.
there's a red coming up here.
There's a red just around the corner, indeed. Lots of tackling and fighting and so forth going on, but oof, and there was Inzaghi just before half time. Let's see if anyone had any shots on target.
Fucking
Mainly
hell.
Stackington, to be honest. I'm surprised at that, to be completely honest. And three yellow card for Sancte, two for Stackington. Let's see how first of all how Stackington fared. Um, Boyer doing well on the right wing back. Both central defenders on a yellow, Inzaghi only on a seven. Shots coming in from everywhere. Baronio with a one on target and Joe Cole as well. We'll see if Alex wants to do anything at this particular stage. Meanwhile, we'll have a quick look at Sancte. Ruud van Nistelrooy's on a five up there on his own, not doing well at all. But They've actually played. Uh, they've actually played relatively well. There's sevens in here, pretty much all over the place. It's just like the front two, maybe, and then Van der Vaart, who's not doing super well. What do you, Alex says as is? Do you think Ross is going to make any changes? He has sent instructions. I don't know. He hopefully he's still here, but he has sent instructions. If not, he sends
If it,
says as is as well.
if it was me looking at like Marvin Andrews on the yellow, and I'd probably bring on Saha and push two up front, play Van Nistelrooy alongside somebody. I'm not a huge fan of one up top. I've never really have been, so that's probably what I would do. Maybe just go for it a
Mm.
bit more. Certainly didn't look like they had no shots on target anyway.
No, we'll see at 60 if anything changes. Ross goes as is as well, so we will just slow it down a little bit so we can stop it right on time. See if anyone picks up a yellow here in the beginning of the second half. Managers will be able to change with 30 left to play, obviously, if they're still concerned about that. First 5 minutes, not a huge amount of action. On 53 minutes now, is Finnan coming forward. Joe Cole finds Inzaghi. Van Nistelrooy's brought down. Alex Diaz brandishes a yellow card for someone, and let's see who it was. We get up until 60 minutes, so no further shots on target. We look at Stackington. It was Baronio who picked up the yellow for that foul on Van Nistelrooy, I think, and we will see what Alex does from here. He has got Damien Duff and Morientes as two obvious attacking substitutions, but it looks as if they're still sort of relatively in control. Duff as LM says Alex. We'll see what else, if anything, he comes up with. Um, Duff as LM. I guess there's more to come, so I'm not going to change it yet because probably Finnan's moving around or something. We'll have a quick look at Ross meanwhile. Um, Kivu, Giuliano doing well. It's still the front guys that are not really delivering. You think he's going to go two up top here? You mentioned Saha before.
I think it's tricky because it's that tight. I'm still shocked he's not a shot on target. So it's I personally would, but I could see an argument for just sticking because you didn't want a draw is better than nothing. But again, I think he should maybe move one of the centre mids up front and bring Saha on. That's what I would
We'll
personally do.
we'll see what he does. Meanwhile, we can change for Alex. He goes Oya swaps with. Why is this playing up now? Okay. Okay. I'll have to try this again. Slight technical issue here, I'm afraid. Right?
You do it on the pitch, not
Maybe. No. This is going to be awkward. Hmm. Let's cancel this. Let's try Sancte for a second here if he has any changes. Mandavart for Saha. Okay, this I haven't seen before.
your mouse.
Let me do something else here. This is going to be a long night, isn't it? Right. If any technical geniuses in the comments have any suggestions to what might be causing this, uh, then feel free to let me know because this I have never
Is
seen
it
before.
a battery mouse or is it a plug-in mouse you've got?
Oh, it's the actual touchpad is doing exactly the
Right.
same thing. I already tried both. Oh, if it's not the sound, it's the equipment. I've just closed and reopened the tactics, and it's been okay, says Scott. Um, yeah, I was gonna say I could open and close the game, but I can't. Right. Let's see. Um, I'll try and go back to Stackington here. Oh, it literally just drops it again. Oh, that's Andrew over there. Hmm. Hmm. Oh well, technical issues in the Super League in I don't know how many 16, 17 seasons. I've never seen this before, but there we go. This is going to make everything relatively interesting, of course. Uh,
Just roll.
no, no This is going to be a problem if we get injuries. I suggest because that's going to be difficult to substitute them then. Um,
It's not too bad about being everybody. I think if you could just going to have to take the hit, like to move, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, you know what I mean? It's not ideal, but you just got to roll with the punches.
it's it's very far from ideal. I would suggest. Let's hope that it fixes itself. Is it because the game is paused instead of click on a team tab, restart the game and click on a team tab? Geniuses at work here. Uh, let's see. Doesn't seem to have any effect. I think that's what you meant, wasn't it, Ross? That I clicked on the team tab and then paused it. Uh, I'm terribly sorry about this, but I can't seem to restart the game unless I win. Yeah, the problem is that during all of the games, you can't really do anything until the last game is played. I can't even save an exit, so that's kind of an awkward one. I guess I'll just have to. I'm kind of scared to even move something in case I can't move them back. Click resume and pause again immediately. We shall try. Yeah, that went to 80 minutes.
That's,
Uh,
oh no.
let's try and see if this does anything. Nope. There was a Windows update recently that I had to roll back because nothing was working. So I don't know. Apologies to both managers and possibly apologies to everyone else for the rest of the evening. Um, I'll uh, I'll run this game to the end because I can't do anything. So many apologies for that. Um, I have a backup of the save file. I can kill the game and we can start again, or we can run the rest of the evening like this. Um, it's obviously very far from ideal. I don't think anyone anyone would be brave enough to admit that they've killed the game before just because they lost or they couldn't make substitutions. But who knows? Meanwhile, will we have a late goal here? Could have a bit of excitement. We'll have to wait and see. Iker Casillas delivers the ball. There was
That
no
was happy.
problem. 0-0. There was no problem changing the tactics or setting up the teams or anything. I honestly have no idea what's going on here with this. Um, does anyone have any particular strong feelings about whether we do a quick crash and burn and try to restart it, or and see if that helps and rerun this game, or what do we do? We can also just run the rest of the evening, but the problem is if anyone gets an injury, we can't. I can't. It looks like I can't substitute them, so that's going to be a mess. Everyone says, well, Alex is happy with whatever. He's picked up a point away from home. Can't be that bad. Next game might be fine, says Mike. We'll have a look. Let's go to the next game and see what happens. Can you not just save after this game, close and reboot and play the last six? You can try. Uh, can try and see what works. I'll just go
Could
to
you
the loading screen.
could
Let's
you go
go.
to tactics now and see if it's working, Martin? Like see if you can move the arrows or that.
No, still can't. Oh, could.
Oh, oh, they
Oh,
moved it out.
not really. Yeah, well, that's not gone well, has it? I can cancel. Apologies.
I
So
know.
yeah, that's something is a little bit odd here. I have to admit. So I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I'll try and quickly in the background, I'll try and save the game and restart it. So apologies for that. Game week 6 failed. I will call it that. Game and restart and restore. Let's see. Um, it works fine now.
It's the gremlin.
Grim. Anyway, I'll try and do this. Mm, right, exit and reload it, and then we'll see if it has worked. Because the original save, I reloaded for you can't see what's going on, of course. I reloaded the original save file, and it's working completely fine. I'll just try and reload the one that I just said was failed, and see if that has actually also fixed itself by being reloaded. Um, oh, aha! I forget that this happens. It hasn't saved the result, so it's all good. Let's see. Yeah, I can move the. Right, let's have a look. Um, well, this is interesting. Not for the people watching, but for me, I guess, just to learn a few things. We'll put the screen back up, I guess, for everyone. As you can see here now, I can move these two people around. I can move them anywhere I want. So, uh, not really sure what happens. Alex and Ross, you're gonna have to replay each other, and we'll try and speed it up a little bit. I appreciate that's half an hour gone and nothing has happened, so we'll do this as quick as we can. So apologies to everyone. Let's see where the YouTube comments went. We'll see if anyone is still if anyone has had the patience to hang with us here. Um, Tech issue though, it's nothing to do with the save file. I don't think it's anything to do with the save file as such, but reloading the save file seems to have worked. Um, did with ASL. Aha, something has happened in that other league as well. Uh, right, okay, but saving mid round doesn't save anything. It just kind of goes back to whatever it was. So we're back to kind of square one here. Let me just double check and see the lineups and everything is correct. So we'll try and run this one again. Apologies to apologies to both managers involved. I don't know what to say really. Hopefully we won't have this issue again. Um, and yeah, that's uh, that's a strange one. That's gonna change up the schedule a wee bit. I hope you're not heading for. I hope no one's heading to bed early.
No, the Hearts were getting beat. I don't even know the score actually, so I'm quite happy. Quite
Right.
fucking
Well,
happy.
it looks as if I haven't even said that. I'm not going to say it. Well, 0-0 still at half time. It's been a little bit better for Sanctay this time round, but still 0-0. Alex says, let's hope for a draw. Both managers as is again at half time, I guess. Uh, Sort of
Can you tilt the screen up
similar.
for me when you got
Sorry.
a chance, Martin?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thingy Uh, I killed the share, didn't I? There you go. Mm. I just out of interest. Aha.
Is it anything to do with this? Is it maybe because I'm maybe that?
This is your fault. Yeah, I mean, it would be.
If it is, I can
Oh,
dive off, like, obviously.
fucking, it's your
Is it,
fault as
is it,
well.
is it, so I can
Some
just dive off and we can just fly through it.
somehow, somehow when I share the screen, this stops working, and it's not in OBS or anything. That's a different place. So
Right, so
it
what,
seems
do you
to.
want me just to I can just jump off if it's going to, if it's fucking,
Let's
just so I can,
let's do it like that. I'll get you on another time. I'll try and fix it and I'll
yeah,
get you another time, Ian. I'm not entirely sure what happens. Apologies, everyone. I have no idea what happens. We'll go through it. No, Dimple, I will never I will never give up and go back to the dock. Apologies, Mr. Campbell. I'll
right,
get you on
no
again
worries, mate, I'll
soon
jump off.
and we'll
No
go
worries.
through the rest of the games. All right.
No
Cheers,
bother.
mate.
Cheers, mate.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Right. That was weird. No, but I mean the dock works, but I'm not yeah. Anyway, I'm not using the dock as the comms software. Right. That's the end of the restarts. Someone said something and I missed it. Sancte, I hope so, Paul. As is, please. Rivaldo for Morientes, please, says Alex. Let's go and do that. Rivaldo for Morientes. Where is he? There we go. For Morientes. I haven't seen that before. That somehow sharing your screen made it impossible to do this. But anyway, we run till 60. Uh, we see if that has the desired effect. Again, apologies to both managers. Slightly unforeseen circumstances here. Well, it seems equally as entertaining as the first one. At least you've not had that many yellow cards, so that's good. And both of you get another roll of the dice, a little bit poorer performance from Sancte, a few more sixes there. Alex has two up top, uh, with um, uh, with I guess Morientes, mm, and the other ones. Yeah. I'll do them. Don't worry. Mm, I'll do these ones. We'll swap these two around, and we'll get Darfon and Finn right midfield. Yep, got you. And move them up with the short arrow like this. I'm guessing. And meanwhile, over at Sancte, we are going to do Macaire for Louis Saha uh, and Saha up front. Good. Hopefully, that's it for both managers. Both had a chance to actually make changes. Once again, apologies. I think I've said that about 9 times now. I'll cut that out. Um, good. Last 30 minutes. Let's see. Let's see. Did I do that right? It was Matt Kerr that was off. Yep, good. Um, last half hour. Last 23 minutes now. Let's see if it'll be nil-nil again. That would be, I guess, the fairest of all the results, but doesn't necessarily have to be fair. 5 minutes left to play. Someone can still find a winner here. Oliver Kahn doing his best to keep Inzaghi out. A big injury for Marvin Andrews. Straight swap for Alex Boyd. I believe he is a DM. What happened there? Apologies. Um, Stackington. We go with Alex and Tudor Void to DMC. For the last 3 minutes, I guess this is okay. Exciting times as Sancte and Stackington play out the last couple of minutes of the replay here. Uh, and unlucky Sancte is Van der Vaart opening the scoring sorry, unlucky Stackington, Van der Vaart opening the scoring for Sancte here. Um, Giuliano makes an important challenge. There comes Baronio. Fight comes forward. Finnan's unmarked. Hits a hopeful shot, and they have equalised. It looks like it will be the same result. Stackington have equalised. A lot more excitement, but in the end, the outcome was the same. Congratulations, commiserations, and thank you for your patience to everyone involved. So the result was repeated. Action was intensified. A bit of late drama there with two goals in the last couple of minutes. So yeah, bit of an unusual start to the evening. But thank you once again for enjoying the show with me. Good result and good game twice indeed. Stevie Finnan, there's a lot of love from Steve right there. Right, let's crack on with this. This is half an hour gone, and and not a lot has happened. I believe that I promised Scott and Mike that they would be up next. So we will do that. Los Santos against Stanley. A couple of changes for Los Santos, tactical tweaks. Indeed, Lasisi comes in at the back. Carlos Jacques up front as a lone striker, Lee Chun-so and Brosek behind him. I believe those were the chances. Araujo on the bench, Kessman as well. Los Santos looking to continue a sort of decent-ish start to the season. They're sixth at the moment. It's a good place to be. Nothing to complain about there. Mike goes as is, hopefully sticking, or not hopefully, he is sticking with his new formation, the flowering pineapple, and maybe trying to change his fortunes here. He obviously has abandoned the wider formation for the narrow, taking up the narrow mantle after Alf abandoned it, hunting for glory as you do. Red Rose Stanley, some unhappy players in there, a bit of undefined um, sort of lack of stability or something like that at the club that they're somehow worried about. But they seem to still be putting in performances in general anyway. We will kick this one off. Los Santos against Stanley with just me and no Haggis on co-coms apparently. Apologies for that. Um, Not sure I've ever seen that before. Screen sharing somehow disabling moving players, but there we go. Los Santos against Stanley, kicking off the first half here. Let's see if Carla Jacques will be able to stake a claim for that lone striker's role. A bit of an unusual choice in that role, but of course, off the ball, a very important stat, and Carla Jacques has that in spades. Um, Solid defensive partnership from Stanley. However, they were unable to stop Dyer, who comes in from right fullback and immediately gets injured. He's had a great start to the game. Had Kieran Dyer. He's on a 9, has scored a goal, and now he's picked up an injury, which of course will leave his manager with some head scratching to do. Um, he has got options, of course, but who plays the right fullback? Will it be Brosek? Will it be Kalajax? Will he put Silvestre out there? It's not. Lasisi eventually could maybe go out there. Silvestre comes in at DC, probably a sort of a bit more defensive-minded option. There's Sinoni who could be dragged out there as well, and Araujo who can come in centrally. We will see what Scott does with this one. Tactical change that's potentially coming up here. Let's have it, Super League, says Tato. You missed all the fun. Or maybe you didn't. Who knows? Araujo for Dyer. And Sinoni to DMR. And Araujo in there in the middle. Good stuff. We'll run till half time. It's only a couple of minutes away anyway. Shouldn't cause too many issues. And there we go, indeed. Los Santos, slightly the better team in that first half. 3 shots on target. Stanley's 2. 1 on target has found the back of the net. Disappointing for Mike, but still very much in it. If we look at the stats on some of the players, though, Semak and Okoronko, very uncharacteristically, especially for Semak. He's lost 4 tackles and done nothing else apart from his passing, which, to be fair, has been decent. Okoronko picks up a yellow and has not done particularly well. That's where Stanley are at halftime. Mike goes as is. On the other end, it's Ross. Arroyo comes in. He's only on a 6, so is Lee Young Pyo. Everyone else is doing pretty sort of decent overall. Kalashak's not seen much of the ball yet. good passes, but not really much else in terms of his involvement. Manager will be hoping for a little bit more. Matthias Kessman is on the bench, obviously ready to jump in if the opportunity presents itself. Here and Dyer down to 14% fitness. I don't want to be too pessimistic, but that's probably going to be more than a week or 10 days. He wants to swap Lee Yong Pyo and Ara Uyo, so we shall do that straight away. Lee Yong Pyo and Ara Uyo. There we go. We will roll till 60 and see if that has any effect for Los Santos or if Stanley can pick up the pace here in the second half and get on the score sheet early on. There's back with a diving header. Um, you pass the point of no return with these players. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Sander Westerveld, I was going to say, has maybe not been as effective as he has been in the past. But of course, you need the goals to come from somewhere as well. There is Arik back, one of the players who could potentially be a goal scoring hero, but has yet to find great form. There's Rossini as well, another player who can do it, but indeed, it's not been the best from him either so far. Um, there was a bit of a pushing and shoving going on there, but we reach the 61 minutes and the Stanley tactics. We can see Sander Vestergaard, the captain, is down on a 5. Okoronko and Semak have not improved either. Back is at 3 shots, 1 on target. Ronaldo and Rossini 1 each. They have got Renato Deisler and Phil Neville on the bench as the potential options to change things around here. But not a brilliant game so far for Red Rose. They've struggled to break down Los Santos. Um, in terms of getting effective shots away. Meanwhile, Los Santos, we shall have a look at here. Yeah, overall looking pretty decent. Lee Chun So was the one who got the assist. Rossini for Nonato, keepers killing it again. And Dunn says Mike. I'll let Ross consider his options if you want to throw Kessman on. But everyone's doing pretty well, apart from Lee Young Pyo, to be honest. So probably not much doing there. Nonato for Rossini was the change from Mike. We'll get back to Scott and see if he wants to do anything. He says as is. Let's go back then for the last half hour. As mentioned, Stanley have created 5 chances. They've just not been very good or very good at taking them. And Los Santos has been far more the effective side. But there is Salihamidzic pulling one back for Stanley. And Los Santos are not home and dry yet. That was one sucker punch. Will there be another one? Just a couple more minutes left to play. Nonato has made a bit of a difference here. I've seen his name in a couple of times getting involved, but there's Kalajax, goes past Okorongo, who's had a terrible evening, goes past Ehiok as well, but fails to hit the back of the net. Nonato now comes forward past Henchos, but Henchos make a great tackle Semak, who's done very badly so far, finds Nonato, but Nonato cannot convert, and it stays 2-1 to Los Sanchez. Stanley tried to get back into it, but those 2 goals conceded by Westerveld early on really cost them this evening, I think. Westerveld did come up and get a 7. He did save a fair bit towards the end, though, but the poor start to the game from him. Semak up to a 6. Um, yeah, Bud and Dede, unsurprisingly, big performers. Two of the if not the two biggest names in sort of Super League terms in the league here. There's Light. I'm not sure it's recoverable. It's still worth a try. It's still worth a try. There's a decent squad in there. And if you can get your keeper to stop letting you down, that would be great, obviously. But you can ask a Dan more about getting your keeper to let you down. Kieran Dyer still get man of the match after 45 minutes with that goal. Leach and so with the assist, as mentioned, unassisted Pavel Brosik, the second goal. It looks like, and Arroyo gets a 7 coming in and covering there. Leon Pure down to a 6. Overall, decent for Los Santos, who continue their relatively impressive start to the season, giving sort of previous seasons not fantastic performance from LSK, but a good one for them so far. I've not seen Dan about. I did say that I would go with Edwards and Alf after this one, so I'll stick to that original plan unless anyone else is desperate. In that case, you better make it quick because we're about to start. Um, or you can get the next one then anyway. We'll start with quickly looking at Al's squad because he hasn't really done much. He swapped Raymond Biscan around and put Zidane on the bench and Alan Smith. That's the changes that he's made. Just a quick reminder for you, that's 2 wins for Slots on the trot here. Done wonders for him for to to drop the narrow. Someone else who's made the tactical change is Northern Burn. They're back to there's no sort of diagonal arrows, and I guess this is more sort of what we've known from Northern Burn in the past. And Yaya is in there. Aymar comes in at the central midfield next to Vieira. Agahawa and Barong going to be the one supplying the ammunition for Impensa right up top to hopefully for Ian get the goals. We've got Candelan on the left, Contra on the right. Of course, captain is Hipia and Buffon in goal. Paul's fishing for Lee Young Pyo. We'll see if he is successful with that. And we will kick off this one with Sloth taking on Northern Burn. Northern Burn, their lovely away kit, of course, having a very difficult start to the season. And that East Coast game last time out didn't help at all. We'll see if they can go and do a little bit better here against Sloths, but they are an informed side. Um, Sol Campbell being uh, being touted as well by Alex, desperate for to improve his defensive lineup. That's a red card for Jonathan Woodgate. Alf is not here, but Alf is not a one at the back type person. I will have a quick look at the positions and consider the options. Um, Biscan perhaps back or Raymer. Um, see, Igor Biscan looks the slightly better DC to me, or Valgarin in and one up top. Perhaps is another option. We'll have a look. Amoroso's had a wonderful start to the season, so it'd be brave to take him off. And I know that Elber is yes. I don't have specific instructions for it, so I am probably going to just move Biscan back because he does appear to be the slightly better centre back and put Raymer out there. Seems to be a fair enough change, and we will run with this. Country speed back up. Contra come forward. There's Agahawa. There's Aymar. Um, Agahawa again, Impensa again, Aymar again, Agahawa again, Ndiaye again, and there's Impensa. They've been banging on that door ever since that sending off for Woodgate, and it's paid off. And there's Agahawa. Was that on his a debut goal for him? And there is Impensa. I mean, Amoroso fires back. Sloths, perhaps Alf would have done something differently, but I think it was a reasonable enough suggestion considering that Northern Burn are only playing with three up top to keep it at four at the back. But it has been all Northern Burn, not just in terms of covering that the uh, the advantage of being one up top, but they've also been very effective in terms of hitting the target here. Let's see how many they had: 9 and 8. Uh, that's that's very effective. Barong, of course, with getting an assist there, and it's a long road for Michael Owen to get back into to this one if it stays like this for Impensa if his form continues like this. Not really a lot that Alf can do here. I'll double check with the instructions that he has sent me. He said. Right, usual 60, any fives and 75s. Okay, we'll have a look at 60. Ian says as is. Slots kick off the second half. They did pull one back through Amoroso. Can they pull back another one? Then it might become a little bit interesting here towards the end. There is Brookink and there's Tony, but they're being stopped by Vieira. Him and Ndiaye, obviously a big defensive partnership for Northern Burn, but it has been Sloth with the majority of the chances here in the second half. There's Amoroso, hits it low, well saved by Amoroso. Could have been a great goal. Definitely still trying to get something out of this Sloths, but there is someone being given a yellow card. Not entirely sure who it was. Taribo West and Sebastian Kiel now on a yellow. Um, Mendieta is on a 5, but I don't have a natural substitution for the right wing, and he's also his captain, so I will leave him on. In terms of condition, everyone is. Oh, Mendieta. Oh no, I won't leave him on. Um, um, Good question. With those options on the bench, I think we can only put Zidane on there and see what he can do on the wing. Can't really do much else in terms of those options. So apologies, apologies for that. Um, right, we'll have a look at Northern Burn. Sammy Hippie is down on a six. Everyone else is on seven and eight. Fitness-wise, you have no concerns, Ian. I don't know if you want to do anything or if you're happy to roll. Presume roll. Who's being admired? You aren't going for him. Okay. Ian says as is. Right, excellent. We shall kick this one off. I do have any other options? Is there anything else I could potentially do here? Kind of not really. I mean, Rayma, none of these are wingers, really. This is as good as it's going to get, I think. Um, Apologies to Alf. I'm not sure with those options on the bench what else would be the obvious solution here. We can put this up again, I think. Oh, but all to play for now. Ndiaye picks up his second yellow of the evening. That's a red card for Mr. Edwards. Any changes for you, sir? Then let us know. Maybe pulling Vieira back to DMC and centralizing Aymar. That would be my guess. Kalatz is there as well. Could come on for Wrong or Art Gahawa and go proper defensive. We'll see what Ian does here. Got a 3-1 lead to protect, obviously, but Sloth down to what, to 10 already as well. Meanwhile, we'll have a quick look at the stats. 5 and 3 for Alf, 10 and 8 for Northern Burn, and their defensive worries, if you can call them that, are back. NTI obviously famously left out from the final, last season's grand final, and now we'll have to sit out another game. Vieira, as mentioned, probably the obvious option. Not sure if give it another minute or two and just see if Ian is still here. And he mentioned that he had intermittent. Oh, there we go. Vieira back. Verong in Vieira's position. Mm, how on his own central with arrows on all, please. Like this. Oh, with an arrow is all. So no arrows on these guys, I guess. I guess it's like this. Excellent. Last 20 minutes coming up. Exciting stuff, this one. Lots of goals, two red cards. Don't see that every day. There's Brooking, there's Tony, there's Kale. Amoroso with a ferocious strike. Hipia does enough to put him off there. Um, they still believe in sloths, but time is running out on them. Just 3 minutes left of regular time here and 3 minutes of added time. Brooking unleashes a volley fly straight over. Just a couple of minutes left to play. It's now or never. Zidane sends in the cross. Ramos robbed by Akahau. There comes Zidane again. Zidane takes the free kick, and there is Brooking. Can he score? No. Hipia stops him. Donny comes forward as well. It's definitely done Alf some favors to go wide. Obviously, the red card has cost him here in the first half, but that is full time, and Northern Burn managed to hang on. Slots coming forward very, very well there at the end, just not effective enough in getting their shots on target. Commiserations to the Slots manager, and congratulations to Northern Burn, who are back to some kind of form. Agahawa coming in there, a bit of a surprise, I would say, picking up that man of the match with only 12 passes, but he did obviously have a bunch of shots on target. Captain Hippia only on a six, but everyone else doing pretty well. So well done, Northern Burn down at Sloss. Everyone actually did well. Zidane came in, put in a decent shift, a key pass at wing back as well. Mendieta, as mentioned, unfortunately for him, injured. A little bit difficult with the situation with Woodgate going off so early, but I think overall Sloss will not be too downhearted by this and go again next time out. East Coast against Exiles. I was kind of saving this one, but we can go with this one. I have seen Dimple about. Unless anyone else is desperate to be on next. I don't think anyone mentioned it. Um, if you have any kind of desperation to be on, otherwise we click with this one. We can save the big Haggis Vikings clash for the end of the evening, but we'll see. We'll roll with this one. East Coast, I think just the one change. Romeo comes in on the bench for the injured Fernando Torres. Not a new kit. You just see it very, very rarely. Very rare you see that burn kit. But it's obviously very nice. Um, and Exiles are unchanged. So two teams, top of the table, unsurprisingly, have done very well so far this season, and both of them are unchanged, apart from that 1-4 sub on the bench for East Coast. We shall kick this one off and see what happens. Will Smooch be the difference? That's a big question. Um, Obviously, Exiles looking to keep the pressure on East Coast here, but it's Ronaldinho opening the scoring for the champions, who seem pretty untouchable at the moment. If this first half is anything to go by, Exiles not without the chances, but it is East Coast who have the lead. Paul Scholes in there as well, putting himself about as you would expect. Constantino trying again, not finding the back of the net. Exiles definitely not out of it. They've had a couple of chances, but Bartes holding firm in the East Coast goal. 4 shots and two to Exiles, 3-1, very even. Smooch is on a 5, Kalushny as well on a 5. Not what you normally see from Exiles, who are struggling here away to East Coast. Um, Meanwhile, we'll have a look at East Coast, and it's Lilian Thuram who was brought in. He's on a 9. Rustico's on an 8. Defensively, they're doing exceptionally well. Ian Robin on a 9 as well, getting the assist, setting up Ronaldinho for that goal. Sergio Kovalchuk, the only one who's been a little bit disappointing, but he's been solid so far this season, I think. So very much doubt that Dimble's going to do anything here. And indeed, he says as is, and I don't think that Neil is around. So we will continue with the second half. Robin coming forward again, and there is Nesta somehow getting involved. Raul with the shot, but Bartes with the save again. It's been another key to East Coast success, the solid, steady performances by Fabian Bartes. Stable, reliable keeper, always in high demand in the Super League, and Bartes is probably up there amongst the very, very best. Constanzo's not been the worst, done okay for Exiles. We reached the 60 minutes, and it's been mostly East Coast in the second half. Exiles with 1 or 2 shots themselves. Smoot still on a 5, Kalushin still on a 5, Constanzo's on an 8. Really sort of keeping them in it here. Everyone else sort of plodding a little bit. Raul, the captain, kind of trying to lead the way, not heading the ball at all, but still getting a 7. Meanwhile, East Coast, Constantino's on a 7, Ado's on a 7, Kovalchuk perhaps surprisingly still on a 6. Everyone else doing very well still. Turan with 8, 8, and 5. That is difficult to argue against. Same with Rustico, 10, 8, and 3. Dimble rolls with this one, unsurprisingly. Last half hour, or 23 minutes rather. There is still a sucker punch from Christian Vieri in this one, I guess, but it's looks like he's running out of time. Just 10 minutes left to play now. Maybe even just 5. We'll run it down a little bit here just to see if Exiles can create anything coming up to the very end of this. But it's still all East Coast that you see flashing up here. Rolandinho takes the free kick. Christian Vieri moves too soon in Exiles. What probably was Exiles' last chance, because here comes Robin, and that's got to be the last chance of the game. Scholes misses the target. A lovely move by East Coast, and that's how it ends. Very, very difficult to break down East Coast, and they're obviously running out their deserved winners here, just about edging it with the 8 shots and 4. They just looked the more dangerous side, really. Much improved towards the end here. Exiles, Kalushny on a 5, though not looking particularly good, but Duff, Tomasi, Costanzo all on 8. So's Raul. Smooch came up to a 7 there. Very good sort of display in the air by him, but the manager probably wanting a little bit more. So Roberto down to 67%. 76, 67% fitness. Not ideal for him either. Everyone's still in the 80s, apart from Shimkoviak, who got down to 79. So they've got the fitness sorted as well. I and Robin doing particularly well, getting a 10. Impressive to get a man of the match when you see that performance from Lilian Thuram at the back. A few misplaced passes by him probably cost him that man of the match award and that 10. Only completed two-thirds of his passes, but defensively, that is a very, very scary partnership of experience and sort of youthful enthusiasm. So well done to East Coast, the champions. Roll on 6 from 6 so far. And yeah, they are definitely the team to beat and the team to catch. We'll see who can do it. Hag is probably one of the teams that can close the gap this evening. Fossroad and Badgers, I've just seen Smuts in the chat, so we shall do that next. Tato was here earlier, and hopefully still is. Trezeguet moves back onto the starting lineup. Saviola is on the bench for Del Piero, was the change for the Unicorns. Before this one, Badgers had only one change as well. It's Jab Stam that comes in for Rede at the central defense. I think they lost 3-1 last time out to Sloths, so we'll see if they can improve here. They're down in 8th. I think Foss Road are somewhere around there as well. Tough battle here. Tigalco still out again, still out or out again. What is it? Yeah, groin strain 4 weeks. Oh, yeah, these pricks again. Indeed, indeed, these pricks again. Ryan Giggs has specified a set piece taker. Well, Ryan Giggs is injured again. He's not even playing him, despite having done that before. Badgers away to Foss Road. Let's see. The Surfside Smarts, don't worry. Well, we will see. We will see. Badgers are never an easy opponent. You never know what you're going to get with them. Uh, could be Ray at hat trick, or it could be sort of a lackluster performance with a couple of early goals conceded. But we will see who it is that they're up against tonight. Foss Road with Roy Keane, with Crespo, with all of the big names in there. Totti as well, who swapped with Kuhl recently, and Kuhl there picking up a yellow card just as I mentioned it. And there is Salas, his first goal for Badgers, opening the scoring of the evening, and Smuts will be. Uh, particularly happy to see that they were the better side, but I guess Champing with so few shots on target. I don't know, but they hit the back of the net with the only one of the evening. Um, let's have a look at Badgers first. Roberto Sosa is down on a 6, and so is Paredes. Everyone else is on a 7. Well, Vale Rayad was the one who obviously got the assist for that one. Ever the promising player is he, and 20s developing all over the place here now. Good start to the season, either footed, a key component for Badgers, I'm sure. And did you see his attributes? He should be mental. I mean, 20s like galore. Anyway, Foss Road, Harry Kewell's on a 6, Totti's on a 6, swapping them, maybe an option. Crespo's also on a 6, a little bit disappointing. And Nick Matulian, of course, very disappointing for the manager to see him not doing particularly well. Did Tato say as is? As is for now, indeed. Foss Road, anything from you? I don't know why no one's after Raya. I mean, the bid should have been flying in for him. Swap the strikers with each other, please. Can do. Crespo and Trezeguet. Excellent. And let's see what that does up until 60 minutes. These pricks again, indeed. Ledinev will no doubt be getting involved as well. Some of these Scally is fouled. That's good. Things you like to see. Roy Keane picking up a yellow for that. Yes, indeed, that's Totti at left midfield. He swapped him and Kuhl last time out, and I think it kind of worked. Yeah. You've seen that right, and it's on purpose, Scott. Don't worry. Gerard's given a warning there, sending Ledbedev to the floor. Lebedev? I forget. 60 minutes up, and we pop to the tactics screen if Paredes can do something. Roy Keane strikes with fury. Okay, very nice. 3 shots, 3 on target. Roy Keane striking the ball with fury. Apparently on target. Badger's not really done much in the second half so far. Paredes still on a 6, so Sosa really. Uh, not really anything else has happened. I'm still waiting for someone to play Totti consistently at striker and see what they get out of it. Who knows? Yapstam doing his best Lilian Thuram impression, 11 and 8. Sosa off for Chini on. Uh, yep, that will do. Can we go next, please? Says Paul. Yes, indeed you can. Um, Did I do that? Yes, indeed I did. Foss Road, meanwhile, plenty of eights. Totti on a six, Kuhl on a six, and Crespo on a six. So yeah, there's still some tactical work to be done there by the manager. He does have both Comandini and Saviola on the bench. It will be interesting to see if he really goes for it here. I mean, Harry Kewell is begging to be subbed off, to be completely honest, with that performance on a yellow as well. Roy Keane, obviously a sort of a red card walking there on his yellow, but manager might consider some more attacking options. We'll see what he says. Yeah, Fucini, whatever he is on there. Rayed is on there. Saviola for Kewell. We shall do that. Interesting to see if we get Comandini on as well. Don't recall seeing him much recently or ever in the Super League, but I'm sure his name's been thrown about occasionally. Um, he looks half decent. He's played occasionally. Oh, he played at Dudley Hill, of course. He played at Dudley Hill. Yeah. Indeed. Not bad at all. Not bad at all, Comandini. Good. That's it, says much. We shall do that. Last half hour coming up. Foss Road finding a way back into this one. Potentially Sambrota, Elias. Very strong squad, Foss Road. They're just getting a little bit unlucky perhaps in this one. Not being able to find the back of the net. And Paredes is flying in there. How's he only on a six? I see him all the time. Sambrota. Unlikely. Foss Road have leveled the scoring. Tato said that he would take a draw. Let's see if he will get a draw. Saviola and the boys are really piling on the pressure here. Ray had resorted to hanging onto Zambrotta's shirt. Saviola looks certain to score. Great tackle by Neil Scally. Oh my goodness. Things I hate to say. Trezeguet on the volley. They're really heavily knocking on the door here, Foss Road. Will it be a home side winner or will it be a sucker punch at the death? Who knows? Couple of minutes left to play. Saviola was pushed by Stam. Totti with a free kick, goal kick to Badgers though. And will that be full time? It looks like it. Final whistle. We had 5 minutes added on. And Foss Road, despite the best efforts, could not break down those Badgers right at the end there. So it's a point for the away side. Um, See you in the playoffs, says Tato. Neil Scally did well. Yap Stam, 18 tackles, 12 successfully. Neil Scally throwing himself about there as well. Huge defensive display by those three. Paredes, so-so. Everyone else doing okay. I guess. Difficult away game. Martin Lausen picking up man of the match for some terrible reason. I have no idea, but that's fine, I guess. Roy Keane got that eight and a yellow. Assist was from Steven Gerrard, and the goal, of course, was Ambrota. Well done, Foss Road, for getting back into this one right at the end there. Shame you couldn't pick up all 3 points despite your best efforts. Fulchester against Dudley Hill will be a no. We will go Vikings because Paul's about to toes off, I guess. Big change here. Patasoglu comes in to central midfield. Liverani is out injured. Simeone is back on the bench. Had fallen out of favour towards the end of last season from being shit, I think. But he's back on the bench, so we might see him in action at 34. Delvecchio's still on the bench. He had a great start to the season. He still has 3 assists and 3 appearances, but Hesse is picked over him. Shevchenko and Kluivert up front. We will see if we see him in action this evening. Delvecchio, of course. Um, let's not dwell on that whole Jeremies thing. We will see how it goes with Jeremies this evening. Uh, Jeremies, of course, is starting for the Haggis. They have Cruz at AMC. They have Techatze still playing. Cannavaro is in there. Overall, very strong side. Ibrahim Saeed not even on the bench. Surely that's not right, Ian. Check this. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Nelka Montella, Cruz, Baumer, Simao, Petkov, Jeremies, Techatze, Samuel, Cannavaro, and then we have the bench, which is a little bit different. I will just double check that. Pilitzoli, it's Said, it's Casas, and it's Tomadera. Apologies to my co-commentator for early on this evening. Yep, and indeed noticed and fixed. Good. Yeah, without further ado, let's dive straight into this one. Haggis at home to Vikings. Both teams have had a decent start to the season. Haggis, of course, now the ones closest to East Coast if they can pick up a win this evening. First half about to kick off. 10 minutes, nothing happened. There comes Bauma. And now we start to get some chances. Let's see what Jeremy's can do this evening up against his former employers. And Pat Sasaki doing his best, obviously, to prevent any of the Haggis players getting near the ball and near having a shot on goal. But it is Anelka who opens the scoring on 45 minutes. Vikings looks as if that they were holding firm, but they have been broken down by the ever popular and easy to please Nicholas Anelka, who's found a bit of a home here at Haggis. 1-0 is the score. Um, Sixes and sevens, mostly sixes. Not great news. Shevchenko had a shot, but that was about it. No one else has done anything of note. There's not even been a lot of tackles. Van Bommel, yes. Patsasoglu having a terrible game here so far. Getting a six somehow out of this with three passes in 45 minutes is impressive in the wrong way, I guess, is the best way to put it. Meanwhile, Haggis, Jens Jeremy's also impressive in the wrong way. Or with his performance on a six there. He has had a few more passes, but not been involved defensively. That's been all Cannavaro. The assist was from Daniel Cruz, who's an unlikely figure to see starting, but has done well for Haggis. Haggis will go till 60. Vikings, you have some thoughts? You have some changes potentially? Managers, no doubt, conferring on the topic separately before they jump into the chat with the uh, with the announcement of what kind of changes that they will have here. That's that by just conferring. Yeah, indeed. No, I love it. Absolutely. Um, this kind of co-managing situation is very nice. Oh, Pat Sasoglu off for Del Vecchio. And what are you going to do with Del Vecchio? Del Vecchio to AMC, please. For Hersey or next to Hersey? Oh, is it this? Is it this thing? And do you want any arrows in that case? That's it. Excellent. We roll till 60. We shall roll till 60. There comes Del Vecchio against his old employer. Will he be able to do something? First 15 minutes of the second half have been incredibly uneventful so far, although there is Anelka. Jeremy's rises above someone. Not sure how that happened, but he did. Um, Arrows on AMC. Right. We will get them on now, Paul. Um, there we go. Arrows on the AMCs. Uh, any more changes? Obviously, just let me know. We'll have a quick look at Haggis in the meantime while you confer. Cannavaro's on a 9. He is the one who's the glue that keeps the Haggis side together at the moment. Everyone else is doing well. And Elka's on an 8. Happy not winning any headers, but apart from that, he's doing pretty good. Plain sailing for Haggis so far. He will roll. Meanwhile, Vikings, Brad Emerton's up to an 8. That's good. Arcus on a 7 as well. So your wingers are doing okay. Patrick Kluivert's on a 7. Delvecchio's come in and is also on a 7. So things are moving in the right direction for you. But we'll stand by for additional changes. Obviously, in case anyone is wondering, we do have one more game this evening. It's going to be Dudley Hill, who are going to be flying into action. Um, with Steve at the helm against. I'm trying to work out. Dan is going to be against Fulchester, obviously, the last game of the evening. But we'll see how it goes once we get this one out of the way. I'm sure there will be something. Maybe swapping Shevchenko and Kluivert. Claudio Lopez, unlucky to be left on the bench. He could come on for Hershey as well. Go three on top with the. Yes, yes, Pauve off. But for who? That's what we want to know. Not for Simeone, please. Hopefully the boys are going for it. We will see what Steve says. Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Claudio Lopez on for Patrick Pauve and three up top. Do we have any preference for the order? Claudio Lopez, I guess, is more of an L, isn't he? forward, left, center, and then we have Shevchenko, Kluivert. If you're in a different order, please let me know. Lopez on the left. Yeah. And the other two we leave as is, I guess. Or you can have Kluivert in the middle. I'll give you that option. Seems as if they're happy. As is. Perfect. Excellent. Good luck to the Vikings with that change. We'll see three up top, two AMCs with arrows. It's certainly going to create some problems for the Haggis defenders when they get up there. What? That's not gone well. I guess it's going to be a straight shot for Simeone. You've not really got a choice. I guess you can. I guess you can put Van Bommel out there instead. Uh, we'll see if they want to move anyone around, or if we're just going to leave it like this. Probably not what they really wanted to see. I mean, Simeone with a long arrow, and Everton had done pretty well. Um, Simeone as DMC, please. No, this is beautiful. Asymmetrical. Tato will be loving this. Uh, excellent, excellent. Right, we'll do this, and, and hope that it works out for the last 25 minutes. Not what I expected, but I am 100% in on this one. Um, with the push Arca up. I don't know. It's I've we've take continue, so we'll roll until until the end. I mean, that would have been wild, but let's see. Perhaps you can still. I mean, okay, you need someone to create the chances, someone to come with the crosses, and Nelka trying his best there. But Vikings are creating a bunch here, but they've not been able to actually get up there with a really sort of telling chance that has really stretched the Haggis defense and the keeper. They've still got probably about 5, 6, 7 minutes left to do that. 3 minutes left to play, but they have to be careful down their own end, of course. Somehow they're managing to keep Haggis at bay with that sort of makeshift defense. Simeone is sitting there in front and absorbing as much as he can, but there is Montella coming forward, has a go from range, but the keeper saves it. One last chance for Vikings, perhaps, but Cannavaro is so dominant at the moment. Tetradze as well. Oh, Tetradze loses the ball. The keeper's there to save it. Arca, and there's Del Vecchio. Oof, that would have been poetic if he had scored, but it stays 1-0. Haggis just about holds on. Slightly chaotic second half. It looked as if Vikings had shots on target. I'm not sure where that came from, but Haggis, of course, with 11 and 8. Looks as if they were in control of that one. A little bit chaotic. Hersey's on a 5. Two shots, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure there were more, but but who knows? Sometimes it counts a little bit odd here. But yeah, tough one. Good game, very entertaining, and good to see the managers going forward there in the second half. Emerton on 58%, so not life changing, of course, but yeah, very enjoyable game. Early days yet, and obviously when you lose, if you're still in it, at least it looked like you were in it, then it's not too bad. We shall progress with the last game of the evening, Fulchester against Dudley Hill. Fulchester had some changes at the back. I think it's oh, I'm gonna have to double check that. Lucio for Litos on the bench. Indeed, Lucio got injured. Ayala is there, and Litos comes in on the bench. Indeed, Lucio pick up that injury. Um, yeah, difficult start for the season for Fulchester. They just cannot stop conceding goals for some reason. And yeah, Frey is there, but it's an awful situation to be in as a manager. You're trying your best, and then if team is conceding randomly. It's not even that they are not scoring. I don't think there's many teams that have outscored them. They're 9. That's the same as East Coast, the same as Haggis. Can you see his stats at the end? Oh, did I skip that again? Yeah, sorry. Of course you can. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, tough one for Dan. I mean, who knows how to explain this? They're at home, of course, now to Dudley, so maybe it'll be a little bit better. Banana Skin here feels we've always got a result in him. Well, if his keeper can like stop conceding, then than he probably has. Steve rolls after that 1-0. Last game of the evening, we'll get Fulchester and Dudley Hill underway and see who turns out to be victorious in this one. Nedved, who Steve would really like to get a great season out of, getting involved there early on. Roberto Carlos, good assist maker down there on the wing. Vogel we brought in uh, from Fulchester, obviously. Big name there, big story. If he can get him playing to a decent level, there comes Cafu down the other hand. Obviously, the two very, very experienced fullback, and it's Nicky Forenko who opens the scoring for Dudley Hill. Um, uh, Problems continue at Fulchester. 2 shots, 0 on target. Dudley Hill, meanwhile, 8 and 5. They have been far the better side in this first half. Not, I don't think Dan is here, but Frey, of course, and Ayala. They're doing well, but now the problem is down at the other end. It's uphill for Fulchester at the moment. Meanwhile, for Dudley Hill, Frank is on an 8, got it getting that assist. Manager likes him. I know Nikiforenko as well. And another guy, he's obviously wanting to get Collins back as soon as possible. But if Frank can play like that, then it's not too bad. Behind them, everything is looking very smooth, very plain sailing, 7s and 8s. He will be pleased with that. Second half, we get underway. See if anything can happen in the first 10 minutes. There is Fulchester coming forward. Alessandro, there is Edilson, there is Pizarro, Michelini, strong players in that Colchester side, strong players. They have occasionally picked up some really great results, but then they struggle for 2 or 3 games. They get back into it, and then struggle for a couple of games for a variety of reasons, poor keeping or whatever. Um, it's a it's a difficult job. It's a difficult job he's got there, Dan. We will have a quick look at the stats. They're still on 2-0. 6 for Michelini and Alessandro and Edilson. Everyone else is doing okay. I mean, you look at it and you're wondering how am I getting 7 and 8s out of this and no shots on target. It's a tricky one. At least Frey is not embarrassing himself so far. 7s and 8s for Dudley Hill. There are no fitness concerns, so unless the manager desperately wants to see someone else in action, maybe look at Tony for Thierry Henry, who's on a 7 and hasn't been super effective so far this season, is an option. Henrik Larsson as well, someone we don't see that often. Could maybe give him a few minutes just to see what it's like, but he says he'll leave it, which is understandable enough. Last 25 minutes, we're getting into it now. Jagatas comes forward. Beckham is there. Edilson, plenty of players who can create in that Fulchester side. Danielson had a good end to last season, uh, but hasn't been able to do anything so far tonight. Um, Montero to Cafu to Nikiforenko. Nikiforenko past Materazzi, and there is Ayala stopping him. And Edward with the free kick. Nothing else doing so far. Montero getting involved, picking up a loose ball and doing something with that. And Fulchester now coming forward. Vogel collects the ball though and passes it up to Franca. It's been very, very, very difficult for Fulchester. They've not played badly. And here comes Jagatas, cross to the near post. There's David Beckham. It's the equaliser. It is the equaliser in the 90th minute. David Beckham, who should be the one making all the assists, is the one scoring the goal. He's at the end of that cross from Jack Gattos. It's heartbreak for Dudley Hill as they are robbed of 2 points right at the death there. And Dan will breathe a sigh of relief. His side has managed to get a point and not concede a bunch of goals and actually score themselves. It's not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. Ayala, who was picked there, gets a 7. Materazzi, Jagatos, solid overall performance. Just Alessandro to fix, let's say, and things are looking pretty decent. Jagatas, of course, he was hoping for a lot from him. He can really be effective on that wing with his 18 crossing and his psychotic right hand column. That's 5 games and 3 assists for him. Manager will be very pleased, and he'll be even more pleased with the defensive performance, even if he didn't pick up 3 points. We have a look at Dudley. Headman drops to a 6. Obviously, that's a bit of a kind of not really a champion because you didn't lose, but not super positive for the manager here. Frank and man of the match. But yeah, all good fun, and great with the last winner. We started the evening with a game that got very exciting at the end, and we finished with another 1-1 game that got very exciting at the end. Um, Not a bunch of goals in this one. just Los Santos and Byrne managing more than the one. But Haggis, of course, picking up 3 points against the Vikings, being a big story because they managed that they keep track of East Coast records, kind of, or keep up with East Coast records. We'll jump to the table. Oh, apparently I need to show Haggis's stats at the end of the game. Daniel Cruz, man of the match with an assist. Everyone on 7 and 8. Manager will be delighted, no doubt. Go to the competition. It's East Coast on 18 points for 6 game. Haggis just behind them on 15. Exiles on 12. We've got Los Santos now up in fourth on 10 points. Dudley Hill just behind them. Could have been on 12. Was 10 because of that late goal from Dan from David Beckham. Foss Road in the playoff spots with a game in hand on 8 points. It's not bad. After that draw with Badgers, who are just behind them. And then we've got Vikings, we've got Northern Burn, we've got Sloths all on 7. Northern Burn and Vikings also with the game in hand. Same as Fulchester, who are on 4 points, but at least they can find the back of the net. And we've got Stackington and Sanctuary, who shared the spoils this evening, and Stanley down at the bottom with only 4 goals. Mike looking at the drawing board and seeing what else he can come up with. Flowering Pineapple here to stay, but maybe some positional changes among some of the players. We'll finish off by looking at the fixtures. Badgers against Sancte as a big one. Dudley against Stanley is also a big one for 13th and 14th. They are not easy games. Exile take on Sloths, who will be looking to bounce back with hopefully not losing any players. East Coast, is that a tricky game to Fulchester, given how Fulchester performed this evening? It probably is. Northern Burn against Foss Road. That's an opportunity for Northern Burn to skip back up into the top six, where they probably feel that they should be, being having been in the final last season. Stackington taking on Haggis. That's a good one. And Vikings against Los Santos. Another exciting matchup for the next round, which hopefully will be before the 20th of February. And if not, it will be the 20th of February. I will confirm as soon as possible. 20th of February will also be with Mr. Smuts on comms, if that's still going ahead. I believe it is. That's it for this evening. Technical issues aside, I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I hope you did too. I'll see you again very, very soon for the next installment of the Super League. Good night, everyone.